Hello, Tiger fans, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Hey Corner Crew podcast. I am your host, JJ Lang, and with me, as always, are my two wonderful co-hosts. First, you know me, love him, Nate the Lagoon Foss.
Up, I'm here. Barely.
And of course, with us as always is Dan. His name is not different than what his actual name is today in Zoom, Scully.
Hey, this is for an interview, not a regular episend. Plus,
It will change.
I need to think of something for
That's very
later.
true.
So,
And speaking of what Dan just said, we have a very special guest with us today. Joining us today is former RIT women's hockey captain Jordan Marchese.
Hey.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course, I think it's fitting that you're the first player we have on this season, considering the fact that your sister now plays for the team. So that's kind of fun. We can kind of go into your past with the team and all that kind of fun jazz with how she got here. But first things first, how are you? How have things been?
Good. Things have been crazy. I was just in Rochester a couple weekends ago for homecoming. Pretty sure I saw you guys there. It was a fun packed weekend, very busy with family and friends, but it was really nice to be back. Currently in Germany. So my boyfriend plays professional ice hockey out here. So I decided to join him for about 3 months. So I just got back on the 19th and loving it here. It's great. Lots of fun.
That's awesome. For those who may not know who you are, I don't know how anybody in the RIT community doesn't know who you are, but just go if you could introduce yourself real quick, that will be awesome.
Yeah, so my name's Jordan. I'm from Mississauga, Ontario. I started playing at RIT in 2017. Oh, the fall of 2017. Yeah, a long time ago. Can't believe it. I played hockey all my life, basically, since I was 6 years old. I loved it so much that my goal was to play Division I hockey somewhere. And I toured Rochester Institute of Technology in the 11th grade, fell in love with it, committed in the 12th grade, and history has been there. So I spent 5 years there. I came back for my 5th year getting the COVID eligibility, and I got my master's degree and had an unbelievable year. It was the best year, basically. So, yeah.
I think the three of us can attest to that too, that we were all very excited when you opted to use that 5th year to come back.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I think all the interviews that I had at the time, if someone asked me, like, why did you come back? Was it the academic portion? And I would touch on it just a little bit, but it was really just to play another year of college hockey. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
I'm sure Celeste had a big influence on that as well.
1000%. Yep. The Celeste and Jordan Pardowski, and then at the time, Justin Simpson was our assistant coach, but he had moved on to Brown, which is great for him. And Josh Grazer came in, but basically all the coaches and the players, of course.
Can you talk a little bit about Celeste and how she is as a coach?
Oh, yes, I could go on and on about her. She's an incredible human being, the best coach I've ever had. And I played a lot of sports growing up. Celeste is like a game changer. I think that she is the greatest thing that's happened to RIT women's hockey, along with her assistant coaches. I think the culture that they brought forward and that's continuing to grow and flourish is unbelievable and exactly what the school needed after some hardship for a couple of years. And now we could sit in this chat and say the wins are coming, which is great, but behind the scenes, what's going on in the locker room is really special, and she's a very special person and a very special coach. So I'm very proud to have played with her or for her. I wish I could have done it for all 5 years, but two will do.
Speaking of that sort of hardship, we won't go too deep into it, but what made you stay through 2 different coaching changes?
Yeah, I think it's because I fell in love with the school. I didn't necessarily choose RIT because of, the coach who recruited me there. I chose it because it's a beautiful school, great academics, very close to home. It was about 2.5 hours away. So I was thinking I was going to see my parents a bunch, which I did. They came to almost every home game and some away games because the CHA is not too far from Toronto. And yeah, I mean, I think what had happened after, the years had gone by with two new coaches, I feel like it's just the desire to be around the core group of girls that wanted to be there, and thinking about people like Logan, my little sister, and thinking about RIT's future, and hopefully wanting to create something out of it, something positive, which I think a good group of us girls did, and with Celeste's help, of course, and the other coaches.
And like kind of like the piggyback off of that, like wait, so I'm trying to figure out how I want to word this. Going through that, like how when Celeste came in, obviously you were named captain your 5th year, but like how much did she lean on you and the girls that were already here to kind of help, especially with that giant freshman class you had that last year? How much
Yeah,
did they really
sure.
lean on you to, kind of take the reins and kind of almost be another coach on the ice?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like we were at a little bit of a disadvantage getting Celeste the first year because it was COVID, right? So it was just such a spotty season with all the players all over the place. I mean, I was like tested positive, the only one in my house of 5, which was crazy. And I missed a bunch of games, and the whole world was just crazy.
Mhm.
But going into my 5th year and getting like a full season of hockey and a full season with Celeste, yeah, I feel like she did lean on me and the upperclassmen at the time, and I think I did the same. I leaned on her and the other coaches just as much. Especially with that big class of freshmen, and every single one of them is like, I love all those girls so much, and we're so lucky to have them. But yeah, it was a bit intimidating, and there was a lot of pressure because you wanted that culture to flourish after a tough year of COVID. So I think we did a bit of both, leaning on each other for support, and it worked out really well, I think.
You mentioned that Celeste being kind of all over the place that first year. I mean, the three of us agreed that this past summer was really her first normal off season.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
Between COVID and having a ton of freshmen come in, and then the addition of scholarships halfway through the season.
of course.
That's
Yeah,
kind of hard, and she finally had that off season where she could like, okay, and now this is my team. These are my players, and
for sure.
there obviously the results are there. And so I guess that kind of, what are your thoughts on, you saw a couple games, what are your thoughts on the current Tiger team?
Oh, I think they're great. Yeah, I love watching. It's a shame that I'm 6 hours ahead, because watching the games will be a little bit tough, but I'll still make it work. No, I think the girls are great. Speaking of that large freshman class, they're seniors. So it's just, unbelievable to see these girls in action. Like the girls, they were freshmen in the COVID year. And then moving up, and then that large freshman class, my 5th year, who are juniors. It's just crazy to see the change in those girls and how much they've matured. And, even when I was a 5th year, they were our big guns too. So they had to step up a lot faster, which I think has resulted in, them being studs right now. So I think it's great. And then a great freshman class as well. I know Logan hasn't been able to go and play yet. But she can't stop talking about how amazing the girls are in her class. And I think the 4 of them are really tight, and it seems like a really good class to be in.
Studs, I like that. We're gonna use that.
Yeah, that's a Celeste special. That's a Celeste
Oh,
special.
I
Studs.
believe it.
Yeah.
I've never seen a coach have so much energy. I love it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, Nate and I were actually at Policini, like, it was a week or two ago, to get interviewed for a student documentary, and they were out practicing, and I'm sitting there going, man, look at that one coach. It's just in the middle of the drill, and she just got a helmet, no pads, and oh wait, that's Celeste.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
it looks like one of the
Nuts.
players.
She's crazy.
I've never seen a coaching staff work so hard, honestly. And it's just proven to me, like, I think just in the world of sports, that your coach needs to work just as hard as the players, if not harder, for success to happen. Even, off ice or off whatever. it happens and starts from the coaching staff, like, and they work incredibly hard. Celeste wears her shin pads underneath those sweatpants that she wears on the ice, and she's like sliding everywhere. It's crazy. So, but it's awesome.
I'm sure she would throw all her pads on if she could.
She did
And just
actually
jump in. Did she?
Yeah, she has. Actually, we had all the coaches.
Me at all.
We had all the coaches in equipment at one point, so it was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Kind of going back a little bit to something you said earlier, about falling in love with RIT. What was the recruitment process like for you? Like, what made you fall in love with the school and the program?
For sure. Yeah. So, I mean, the recruitment process was very nerve-wracking, of course, like being in high school, and there's a lot of pressure because you're seeing other kids commit to other schools, and I was actually committed to another school before RIT. And what had happened was
their loss.
Yeah, it's okay. They had a coaching change, and I sort of met the new coach, but didn't really have a great connection with her, and she's wonderful. And then I joined my last year of junior, which was with Brampton. And I don't know if you guys remember Brittany Goot, number 9, my freshman year.
Yes.
She's awesome.
Yes.
She's one of my best friends of all time. And Britt was committed to RIT for the longest time. And I remember joining Brampton, playing with Britt. Me and her were like 2 peas in a pod. And she's like, you should look at RIT. And I was like, maybe I should. So I started talking to them a little bit in grade 11 and then a lot in grade 12. And then I did a tour with my grandmother, actually. And she was a huge fan of RIT. She's since passed, but huge fan of RIT women's hockey. And we did the tour together with Scott McDonald, and he showed us the entire campus, and it was great. And the girls were actually running their 300s in the field house that day. And they were like gassed.
That wasn't a turnoff.
I was wearing like a buttoned up. Yeah, I know. I was wearing like a buttoned up collared shirt, and I was just sitting there watching them, and I'm like, I feel so bad for them. But they were working their butts off, those girls. But anyways, I did the tour. I love the school. I mean, what's not to love? And the Gene, I mean, I think it's the best rink in the country. It's awesome. Just seeing the whole place is just crazy. The locker room, the kitchen, like everything about it is just great. And the ice, of course, I mean, it can't get any better than that. And then going into like a game is a completely different story with the corner crew, the band, and then, our fans that come out. We have loyal fans, which is great. And I still say hi to them even now when I go back. So falling in love with it was easy. And then from there, it was just, decommitting from one school and committing to another, which was a little bit tricky, but I couldn't have made a better decision. And then, in terms of academics, that whole process with the SAT and ACT, which I had no idea what that was, being a Canadian, quickly had to figure out what it was in order to get into RIT, which was fine. And I was undeclared at the beginning, and I figured out that I liked business. So I moved on into business, and it was great.
I like that she was pumping her tires there for a second. I'm a big fan of that. So what are some of your favorite on ice memories, and then maybe some off ice memories that you can tell at RIT?
For sure. Okay, so
I know how a hockey locker room works. There are some things that stay there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, so I'll give 2 on ice, and then one of them is a bit of an off ice story as well. So my first favorite memory didn't happen at the Gene, unfortunately, but it was the overtime win at BU when Mal Rushton scored the overtime winner with the penalty shot.
Sports all over Sports Center the next day. It was unbelievable.
And they couldn't even pronounce the name of our school correctly.
No.
Good. It didn't matter. It didn't even matter.
It didn't matter.
No, that was great. I remember the bus ride home was just so much fun. And Mal Rushton is a great friend of mine, and she's just like a spark plug. So it was the best person who could score that goal. yeah, and it was such a great moment and memory, and I just get so happy thinking about it, and I could remember it so vividly. And then another memory, which I think is my number one. Sorry, Mal, but it's number one. Was when we won my 5th year, the last game at home against Lindenwood.
That was a good game.
Yeah, that was
That
great. It was
that
great.
and what I remember most from that game is that, as the season was going on, it was building and building and building to that moment, and then to finally get a result that was well earned, hard fought, especially how the game the night before ended as well. Was it you that almost put it in there at the end too in overtime the night before? I think it
Oh,
was.
who knows? I was probably like just
Like
going
1
crazy.
second left, falling down almost.
Oh,
And so that's what made that one feel so good. And
yeah, it was great.
I just remember seeing your guys' faces, just seeing like all the relief just come flying out, weight off the
Yeah,
shoulder. It was unbelievable.
it was
I
awesome.
think I hugged Dan like when he came down from the press box, and we were all just having a great time after that. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was great. And I remember after the game, I think it was our senior night as well.
Yes.
Yep.
And so super emotional, like been crying since the moment I woke up that day. And me, Simsy, and Abby, our moms, were in the locker room with us after the game. And we had our win song on, which was like the best song ever that we hadn't heard that year until then. So I was like so fired up, and to have my mom in there, all the moms just in the locker room. And I just think it was the 3 seniors and our moms at one point in the locker room together, just sitting there like singing and dancing. And that was really special. Yeah, it was great. And then don't even get me started on the, a couple of weeks after that when we beat Lindenwood again. And
Oh, that was even more
Oh
fun.
my God.
yeah, that was great when Abby scored the hat trick. Oh,
Oh,
it was great.
that was so worth the drive.
Yeah. Even
Did you
losing
have
to
any doubt?
Syracuse, it was all good. Did I? No doubts, no doubts whatsoever. And like the loss was a heartbreaker, of course, but I'd do it all over again. It was great.
I've never wanted a hockey game so bad in my life than that
I
than
know.
that last one. Oh,
I know.
it was one of those like it was there. It was falling right into place, and then
It's
we won't talk
okay.
about it anymore.
Yeah. It's okay because it's led us to where we are now, and it's great. So it's all good.
So go ahead.
I was gonna say, so speaking to where we are now, what is it like seeing your sister play for the team now? That must have been a fun recruiting process for her, going through all that and probably getting some support and some push from you to go there.
I'm sure Celeste had a helping hand in the recruiting process.
Yeah,
And she wore number 22.
Well, Logan, of course, is someone who looks up to me, and now I look up to her too. Very close as sisters. Being that big of an age gap, I'm like her little mom. So she's got our mom, Julie, who's the best mom ever, and then me, who kind of looked out for her and struggled a little bit to be like a big sister more. I was always like nagging her a little bit too much, but now we've evened out because she's older. No, she always wanted to go to RIT. Even through all the bumps and all the tears that I shed and the stress, and every time she came to visit, she just loved the Gene. She loved the campus. She loved my house, my old house that the girls still live in. It's the hockey house. It's great, but she just loved everything about it. And then I think, transitioning into my 5th year, let's say, because COVID was a bit messy, she saw the love that I had for it more than ever. And especially with Celeste too. I could not stop talking about how amazing she is as a human and a coach, and that, she changed my life and the program of RIT, which I care so much about. So I think Logan always had it in her mind that she wanted to go to RIT. And I remember her talking about it, and I said, you have to do the work. you have to reach out, you have to play well, you have to play smart, and you have to be a good person. That's like the only thing that you need to worry about, the only things. And I wasn't like crazy involved. There's always that separation because Logan's her own person, right? But yeah, she talked to Celeste a few times, a bunch of times, and then ended up committing there, and it was awesome. I'm so proud of her, and I think there's no other place in the world that I'd rather her attend college for the next 4 years.
Because your point on her being her own person, I kind of love that, because I remember when the team was announcing the numbers for all the new players, and we saw that Logan was going to be 27, and so many people were, why isn't she wearing 22? And I think, Dan, you might have been the first person to go,
Us included, JJ.
yes, us included. And Dan kind of was just like, has anyone stopped to think that that's 22 isn't her number? Like, her number isn't the same her sister is. And that was kind of something that people kind of had to come to grips with, was like, this isn't like the Jordan clone. This is Jordan's sibling. Like, she is her own person, and everyone's going to get to know her as the years go on. Just like we got to know you and how beloved you became to all of us.
Oh, thank
She
you.
can block 179 shots, though, and I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah, right.
She will. She'll block more. She's a great player. I think, the younger kid's always better at everything. I don't know why.
I wouldn't
Because
go
they
that
were
far.
so determined to beat you.
Oh, for
See,
sure,
I don't have
no.
that problem because I'm an only child.
Oh, damn.
Well, perfect. But yeah, Logan, for some reason, I'm just like, Logan, I just see it in her, and Celeste too. I've already heard it from Celeste, like she's chirping me a little bit, but it's not hurting my
Of
feelings
course.
because I'm so pumped up that Logan's good, but it's like,
Slow
would I
down here.
still be good? No, Logan's great. I mean, if not, like, she's so gritty. She is like just a hustler out there.
Love
Yeah,
that.
I
love a
she's
gritty
awesome.
player.
Yep. She'll bury the puck way more than me, and she knows how to get it done.
As long as she doesn't get as many body checking penalties that Abby Davies got, I think we'll be okay.
Nah, I think I'd be
know.
okay with that.
Abby, one of my favorite players. She'd be like my number one pick, I think, if I were to create a team of players. Number one.
Okay, so round it out. Top 5.
Yes, let's go.
Okay.
Put
So
her
I'll
on
do
the spot.
Abby Davies. Of our RIT players?
Sure.
Okay, so I'll do Abby. Oh, now it's getting tough. I can't. I think I'm gonna offend people. I'll just do 2. Abby and Logan Marchese. That's it.
There we go.
I won't say anymore.
Why 22?
It was
Yeah.
my number in high school hockey. Yeah, so
Okay.
in Ontario,
That's easy enough.
in Ontario, high school hockey is not like how it is in the US, where it's like
Mhm.
your hockey. I played club hockey. High school hockey
Right.
was very like bad. It was a lot of players that were playing house league and learning to play,
Yeah.
and then you'd have a handful of girls who played club. So you had a whole mix, which was amazing
It
because
was
I got
free
to
ice.
Yeah, and I got to play for my high school, which I loved high school. I loved college way more, but I loved high school. I had a great high school experience, and I love my high school coach, Miss Jones. She's great. But I was a Bulldog, and I, had a choice of numbers. My freshman year, I chose 22, and it stuck. And I cried more when high school hockey ended than I did when club hockey ended, if that makes any sense.
I feel like you
Mhm.
see, because like I do stats and video for my high school team, been doing it for years, and you almost see that sometimes too, where it's like, these are the kids you kind of grew up playing with the whole way up
For sure.
in your town, and then club hockey, it's kind of a melting pot where you have kids from all over, where
For sure.
like they're all from different towns, but like that high school team, like those are the kids you grew up with, and I think that's part of it.
Yeah, it was really nice. I felt a deep connection to it. And when my numbers were given to me by the coach at RIT, I chose 18 because I'm born on the 18th. And then I think it was like 2 hours went by and I was sitting there and I'm like, I gotta email him. I don't want to wear 18. I want to wear 22. And then I did that, and I was lucky enough to wear 22, and I think it's a great number. I think it's cool being twos. I think it's cool. I think all the twos
I
at
agree.
RIT, we were like in a little club, like I remember Dawson Tate was 22 on men's lacrosse and Regan Seiferling on the men's team, and we just
I have
call
his
each other
jersey too.
twos. Yeah.
Just like,
22 is
Great.
my number as well. So that's why I agree 100% with you. 22 is the best.
And Emma Pickering looks amazing in 22.
Oh, she's so good.
yes.
She's
Oh,
a stud.
she's so good.
I
She
don't know
is.
that I've ever seen a player cover as much ice as she does.
Oh yeah,
It's-
she's awesome.
No, when we were at the last what was the last home women's game, Nate? Was it last
The
Saturday?
homecoming game, yeah.
We were sitting there and they announced Emma and the start. It was at the start. And she was in the starting line. They announced her, and there was a whole group of people in the club box that just went ballistic.
Yeah.
And Nate just looked at me and goes, "Well, I guess the Emma Pickering fan club is here today."
Well, her parents are alumni of RIT.
I knew
I didn't know that.
I found that out this weekend. So her mom is very big on the Corner Crew Instagram, which me and JJ run. And so I just happened to
she is? I didn't know
stumble
that.
upon I happened to stumble upon a post, and I saw that, that she was an alum of RIT, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. So, and then there was a picture of Emma as a young in RIT gear. So I was like, so that's kind of cool. We got to get her on here to get the story
For
behind
sure.
that, because that's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. It was a great story. Yeah, she had a
switching
great
gears a
fan
little-
club.
Yes. Switching gears a little bit. What are you up to now post RIT?
So I mean, I'm about 2 years out now, or a year and a half, sadly. I did play professional hockey in Europe last year. I flew over to Austria and I played for a team in the EWHL, and I played it was about 2 months, and this team was really unique. Actually, they're from Kazakhstan, but they play in Austria. So I met a lot of cool people. There was about 5 or 6 imports on the team, which was great, and they were from Canada and the US. And the other girls on my team were from Kazakhstan, so they spoke Russian or Kazakh. So it was very hard to communicate with them, but we got through it and it was great. So I played for about 2 months there, and it was a good experience. I just did not love it because it wasn't college, honestly. I was so emotional after I was done college hockey. I still am. Like, being at the Gene makes me tear up, and it's still tough to think about it. But I'm happy I did it. I'm happy I tried, and it's just something that I feel like my future in hockey is to be a fan of Logan Marchese, and hopefully one day a coach. I'd love to be a coach. I think that would be my next step. And of course, playing in beer leagues.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, have to.
You have to.
Of course. Yeah. And then since then I've been working full-time, fully remote as a software saleswoman. So that's been great. They allow me to travel around the world. So I'm okay to be in Europe. I'm okay to be in the States, okay to be back home in Canada, which is great. So yeah, it's been great. It's been good, and seeing my family a ton, which is the best. I'm very close with my mom and my dad and my grandfather. So I've gotten to see them quite a bit since I've been done.
It's a feather in your cap too to play professional hockey too. That's
Yeah, it's
everybody's goal. So how many people can say they actually got to do it after college hockey? So it's
Exactly. So I'm happy I did it, and I got to see a lot of cool places in Europe, which was great.
Sort of coming off of that, do you have any thoughts on where the women's professional game is headed?
Yeah, I think it's going uphill and only in that direction. I mean, it was a bit messy when I heard, of the the PHF dissolving, and I know a lot of girls that played in that league that, don't really have a place to play anymore. Which is too bad, I think. other than that, I mean, if this is what has to happen, and I believe that the people in charge are doing what's best for the game and what's best for us women. So I mean, it's great. I support it. I know Taylor Baker's going to camp soon for the New York team. So good luck to her. She's a good friend of mine. But yeah, I think it's great. I can't wait to see more Tigers playing. So I'm sure there'll be more. Yeah, it's great.
All right, we got a little quick speed round here.
Yes.
Awesome.
So I think we might just throw in a couple more because when I was putting this together, I couldn't think of any fun ones. So,
Nice.
we did favorite teammates. What was your favorite rink to play in other than GPC? Because
Oh,
obviously that's number one.
when I saw this question, I was stumped a bit, but I'm gonna say it, and I don't like this team, but it's Penn State. And I'll tell you why. It looks like the Gene. It looks like the Gene. Same builder. So you kind of feel a little bit at home, but you're not. And they have really good warm-up music. So that's why I like it.
So I have a friend that goes to Penn State, and we always jab at each other a little bit. And as somebody who's been to games at Pagula, it is unbelievable. The
It's
building is
beautiful.
incredible.
Totally.
Least favorite.
Okay, Mercyhurst.
Really?
That's
Not
shocking, I'm not
Kennedy.
gonna lie.
Yeah. It's
Kennedy?
all
Man.
everybody. That's a victory for Dan.
Mercyhurst locker room is the size of, I wish I could show you my dining area right now. It's about this big, a box.
Oh God.
We were like, you know what, but great memories in there. I mean, us as a team piling in there. Girls are basically sitting on the toilet to get ready for the game. Like, it's very, very small. So that would be my
God.
least favorite. Yeah.
That's kind of a youth hockey throwback to youth hockey because
For
some of
sure.
these community rinks, the locker rooms aren't very big.
For sure. We're like
So,
bringing out
there's folding chairs. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's always a
Exactly.
pole in the middle too, and you're around the
Yeah.
pole and the pole.
It's weird.
Every
There's
rink
I would
is
have
the
thought Kennedy
same.
for sure.
Every rink is the same, man.
I know, you know what? If you were to ask my dad, he would say Syracuse 100%, even though it's close to home.
Mhm.
But now that I think about it, it's great memories there. Great memories. So I like it.
Except for when they penalized you for somebody jumping and running into you. I still have that clip somewhere.
I know, but guess what? Oh, that one. I know the one. Not the one in the final game, right?
Right.
Oh, is it? But is it the one in the final game? Because that penalty, I got, what was it? Embellishment? Crazy. But Abby
That
scored,
one
so
was
it didn't matter.
arguably worse, but it's not the one I was thinking of.
I have a great picture, and it's when Abby was coming through the line, giving high fives for the goal, and I'm in the penalty box giving her a high five. Oh, it was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I think I know your answer. So because of kind of what you said, but is there another one? Your least favorite team to play against?
My least favorite team to play against would be Colgate.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting.
I can
Yeah.
understand that.
Well, you
I
know what?
think
And it's not about how the game went, because it is what it is. But it's, a team as good as that, there needs to be some class. And I didn't feel that. I didn't feel very respected that game, which is okay, I guess. But playing the Gophers, they're a tough team. Oh my gosh, that was tough in Minnesota, which was crazy. Crazy rink.
I remember when that schedule came out. I was like, oh my gosh.
And those girls I played against my 5th year were very respectful, and I think they were awesome to play against. So I'm happy I got to make that trip and got to play the Gophers at home. That was really cool.
And I think we kind of saw that too when they were here this year. And I know that their coach has created something unbelievable there, and the
sure.
culture there is amazing. But like, you can have that, and the players can kind of be, like kind of we're so much better than you. And I didn't get that vibe at all when they were here
No.
either.
Yeah,
because I think they said, "Oh my," They are much better than we thought they were. And
Well, they played against a brand new Tiger
Yeah.
team. Like
mhm,
those games were amazing.
those were fun games to watch. And so I
Ah.
said it on the episode that week. I left GPC Friday feeling better about the team than I did coming in, and we lost.
For sure.
Didn't even score a goal, and we lost. And I was like, I feel so much better than I
Yeah.
did coming in, because it's just
They're intimidating. It's intimidating, but
mhm.
it's yeah, it was a special weekend for the girls. I think it really showed them, and I think it fired them up for the next weekend after that. And you know, the proof is there. Like they were ready to go.
So here's a fun one. This is kind of when I told Nate and Dan. I told Nate and Dan I was thinking about, if you could have had one, what would your goal song have been?
Oh
Ooh,
my
I like
gosh,
that.
this is tough. I
And
don't
Nate can
know.
thank his boy Jeff Skinner for where this came from.
Oh yeah.
I love Jeff Skinner.
How can you not?
Let's think. I don't know. It'd be something to like fire up the crowd, but also like fire me up.
Mhm.
I don't know. Maybe it would be like Ice Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice.
That's a good one.
That's my karaoke
That's a
song.
good one.
Oh, I was gonna say that was gonna my follow-up.
That's
question,
perfect
karaoke
then.
song.
That's my karaoke
Um,
song.
I don't think of a couple more here. Ooh, favorite place off campus in Rochester.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I don't know if you guys are ready for this. I have two, and they're food related, and they're in Henrietta.
Big fan
Okay.
of the food in
Okay, so I definitely know
Rochester.
them then.
So
Dollars or Shaler's
Oh, Shaler's? Oh yeah.
Shallers,
Yep.
yep.
for hot dogs. I love hot dogs. So that's like my spot. And then McGregor's for their wings
Yeah,
and blue
yep.
cheese. They have the best blue cheese I've ever had in my life.
So it's blue cheese over ranch, right?
100%. Me
Okay,
and put,
good. That's where we established the line. All right.
put me and Abby Davies on that because we are like obsessed with their blue cheese.
So my opinion is good wings don't need blue cheese, but it is blue cheese over ranch. So
Yeah,
if you've ever been out in Buffalo, they don't even offer ranch. You have to ask for it.
perfect.
Which is the correct way to do business.
Exactly.
Did you have any pregame superstitions?
I think they changed all the time. Very in my head about things. I like to put my left things on first, of course. Near the end of the year, my 5th year, I would eat a banana before going on for like the game. So like warm up, we'd come in, have a banana, and then I'd have a piece of gum. I'd give one to Abby Davies. She'd give one to me. So chewing gum. And then I think my freshman year, I was obsessed with BioFreeze. It's like this rub that
Oh, I know what
is
you're talking about.
cold. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you get it in your eye, you're like ruined for
Don't forget about it.
yeah, rest of the day. But the whole team was obsessed with it. I think they had to take it away from us at one point because we were using so much of it. They were concerned. But I would just
That's
like
awesome.
literally lather it everywhere behind my ears. It was something.
Black
and-
and white tape. Oh,
And I'd always say a prayer before the game, and I would sing "O Canada." But now they don't play "O Canada," which is fine. But I used to sing "O Canada" too.
I can just
That's been the
imagine
running-
Ben Emke saying, "No, you guys can't have any more BioFreeze."
Yeah, he'd bring out a whole tub and it'd be like half gone after one game. He's like,
and
"Are
he's
you guys
like,
eating it?"
we don't have the budget for this.
Yeah,
Going back to the national anthem thing, I'm still loving the fact that there's the running gag we all have in the Discord server right now of we have a team, both teams that are primarily made up of Canadian athletes that are saying, no, don't play the Canadian national anthem,
Right.
just play the American
Yeah.
national anthem. I kind of
we
miss
got-
it. Like I
I
missed
think
it.
it's a let's get on with the game kind of thing. Like,
Exactly.
that's
Yeah.
yeah. We were
although
standing.
we
You're standing
gotta
there for
figure out
quite
the
a bit.
timing for the Hey song and the start of the game, because that 30 to 45 seconds is a little awkward.
Well, the funny thing was the exhibition against Guelph that the men had. We weren't expecting it to happen, so we rolled the flag down, and then they started playing "Oh Canada." We had to throw it back up and roll it back
No,
up
they
again, and then
played
put
the
it back
Star
down
Spangled
No,
again.
Banner
they played
first.
"O Canada"
Oh,
second.
that's right. No,
And
that's
then
right. They
because I don't
botched
think
it.
the
They
pep
flipped
band
them.
was ready either.
No,
No,
Oh,
nobody told them.
that
It
was wild.
It was a mess.
That was kind of funny.
Black or white tape?
white.
Thank you. All right,
Yeah.
Jordan, I
Black,
like you more and more every answer.
black feels heavy. Like it
It
feels heavy on the
does.
stick. Yeah, I don't know why.
The whole hiding the puck thing is just a myth.
For sure.
And
Yeah.
you answered my left or right skate question.
Last one for me is, what was your favorite jersey you wore? Like what like that you wore for us? Like, what was your favorite design you had? The orange, the white, the black? Which one was your favorite?
Any of the black jerseys. I love when we were back in black. Yeah.
The
I
one that
actually
Nate would not let me
took.
buy.
Yeah.
Yes. So I walk in Celeste that has the racket jerseys. I'm like, Dan, I'm sorry. I'm getting 22. It's my number. Said
You
can-
had already
buy it.
also bought 18,
I had
and
also
I bought
got
18
18
off
too.
of you.
Yeah, we swapped.
It's a great jersey. I mean, I think we look so sharp. I think all the jerseys are great. The jerseys look amazing now. Like I love the jerseys.
I need one of
But
those
yeah.
white ones. So if
Yeah,
Logan
me
wants
too.
if Logan wants to toss a white jersey up my way at the end of the year, that's fine.
For sure. Yeah, no, they look great. They look awesome.
Dan, you got any here?
I was actually going to flip the script real quick and ask you two what your favorite Jordan moment is.
Oh, tough one.
Jeez.
Oh my god.
Um,
Oh man, Nate, you go first because I can't think of anything
no,
right now.
don't
There's too
make
many
me
good
go
ones.
first. There's too many.
Oh, I know what mine is.
All right. Yeah, you go.
We were you had mentioned in one of the signing sessions afterwards that you loved hot dogs. So I left and I texted my cousin, because she owns Weigel's, and was like, listen, we got an RIT player who loves hot dogs more than anything. And she texted back with all caps, OMG, that's awesome. And I think it was like the next weekend, because we'd gone to Syracuse, came back, and we bumped into you outside. And I'm like, look, I showed you the text, and you were just kind of like, that's actually incredible that this white. It's like, she is still a fan of yours to this day.
Oh, well, I'm a fan of hers as well.
She actually asks, like, is Jordan still playing? I'm like, not anymore, but maybe she.
She
I'm like, but her sister
wishes.
plays in RIT. Oh, she really does. She tried to keep track of your career for a while after you left.
Oh, that's so sweet. I love your aunt and I love hot dogs.
Where is it? It was one of the first games back after COVID. Like we were allowed into the building, and you scored a goal against UConn. I think it made it a 1-goal game or whatever. Just came and celebrated, pounded the glass, and we were just punching the glass.
Yeah, that was great.
That's my
remember that.
favorite.
The
Yeah.
backhand trickled in.
Oh yes, I was so happy
Oh, that was great. I remember.
because that was like
Dan?
one of those first games back at GPC too, and it was just
Yeah. It was.
there was an energy, and then the game was great. And
Yeah.
Dan, do you have
Special.
one so we don't leave you out?
I do. It's a little bittersweet, but after the semifinal loss to Syracuse, you guys couldn't make it because there was basically a blizzard happening out. But
yeah,
That's
that sucked. I was not happy, but if you could have seen me pacing around my living room watching that game, it was
that morning, my mom looked at me and she was like, "You're not going to that game." I'm like, "Yes, I am. You're not going to stop me." But after the game was over, some of us were hanging around waiting to see if any of the players wanted to chat, and Jordan came over, and I think we both about burst into tears standing there.
Yeah, a lot of tears. Yeah. Yeah.
I like
Special.
what you said though about that game though, that it's it's another step. Like it was a step taken, and I think you and Abby and Simsy all played a big role into where we are now as a program. And honestly, I can speak for the three of us. We're all so grateful
Oh,
as to you guys really pushed the train in the right direction, and we're finally seeing the results. And when there is a trophy, at the end of this. I know they don't put the names on it, but your name should be on it as well. So
Thank you guys. And I saying the same thing right back at you, you three. I mean, you guys are awesome. The support is unbelievable. I can't think of another place that has support like RIT. Even this podcast, when I heard you guys talking about me and Logan a couple weeks back, and just brought tears to my eyes, and my dad was sitting beside me, tears in his eyes, and my mom too. And it's the most special place, and my heart is forever at RIT and in the Gene and with you guys, and it's just so special. And I love Logan more than anyone in the whole world, and I'll say it again, it's the number one place that I'd want her to be at, and the support she has is unbelievable. So I thank you three as well.
we appreciate it for sure. And again, thank you again, you and your classmates that you ended up graduating, and everybody really.
Yeah,
'Cause-
it's crazy. It's such a history, right? And that's
Mhm.
why like homecoming and alumni weekend is so special now, because we're actually doing this and seeing faces of these girls that have gotten us to where we are now. And I'm such a small time period of RIT women's hockey in the grand scheme of things. But those small moments matter. So I'm so grateful for the seniors that I had my freshman year who taught me things that I, hopefully passed down to the freshmen my fifth year. So there's always that culture, and college sports are the best.
The best.
Best.
Oh
Unbelievable.
my God, yes.
So emotional.
Give me college hockey over the NHL any day, any night. I will.
For sure. Yeah, it's
Okay.
when I actually got to go see the men's lacrosse team win the national championship.
Oh, that
in,
was pretty fun
2020.
too.
Oh,
I
that's
was-
right, you were
I
there.
I cried.
That was awesome.
the entire
So did
game.
I.
I cried at the like when they were singing the national anthem at the beginning. I was getting emotional. I'm like, this is amazing.
I would have
I've
given
never
anything to be at that game, man.
Oh, it's awesome. College sports, it's great. It's great.
Well, thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule to come share some thoughts with us and have some fun.
What time is it? It's like
It's
2 in
like
the morning over
1:30
there. Come
over
on.
there.
1:30. It's okay. My sleep schedule is not, and
Set
I'm
in
gonna
stone
be
yet?
So I'm working. I'm up. I'm fine. And thank you guys so
man.
much for having me on and asking me these amazing questions. It's so great to reminisce and to see you three. So I really appreciate it. Feel very special, and I love that I can still be a part of RIT hockey. So
You're the
thank
first
you.
alum we've had on too. So
That's very true. You are.
That's true.
Woohoo.
so,
I
well, I
met
mean,
think
a
of it-
more.
couple of the players that we had on last year are now alums, but
Oh.
alums
Yeah.
at the time of recording. So
Yeah. Nice. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
all right, JJ, give your spiel.
I'll go through the outro quickly as to not waste time. But if anybody has not already, please make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube. Hit the notification bell to notify when new episodes go live. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook is a thing, I'm pretty sure still, maybe. And also join the Discord so that you are able to gain information and join this incredible fandom that we do have here. Meet new people, learn about fun stuff we're gonna do at games going forward, both home and away. That's kind of all I've got. So again, thank you so much, Jordan, for coming on. We love and miss you to death. And hopefully we'll get to see you again at Policini soon for another women's game. But until then, everybody have a great evening. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Yeah.